Jagex has just announced that they will be wheeling out the 2025 roadmap on August 15th. However, the content reveals have already begun. In a news post on the main website, Jagex revealed that they're working on the next skilling boss. This is all coming from the right-click examine, or Jagex's fairly new blog format on the main website. On top of the recently launched Sanctum of Rebirth, players are going to find a mysterious shrine of an absent goddess. There they're going to have to use their skills to put a stop to whatever's been corrupting this once holy place and return balance to this ancient sanctuary. This piece of content will be RuneScape's second ever skilling boss and the first soloable skilling boss. You will be allowed to bring friends to help you, but they wanted to approach the design for this boss with the solo intent first and then scale up to more players instead of the other way around. When players hear skilling boss, the idea jumps to mind isn't quite the same as a skilling encounter or a mini game. Hitting that balance is a little tricky. Skills have to take the center stage and be the defining way the players interact with the encounter, and it can take various forms like gathering, collecting resources, using your artisan skills to craft tools, solve problems, or using your support skills to work around certain obstacles. This doesn't mean combat skills can't be helpful or involved. For example, using prayer to cleanse or bless objects in the environment as opposed to using your combat prowess to approach the boss. Similar to traditional combat bosses, there's a singular entity that the players must interact with and ultimately overcome. And bosses by definition come with a variety of expected mechanics and systems like loot tables, collection logs, boss pets, and are designed to be repeatable. So a skilling boss is a repeatable encounter focusing on an entity that is resolved using your non-combat skills and has rewards like a regular boss. This differs from a mini-game as the focus on those are usually the activity itself, like capturing a flag to beat another's team or working together to keep a furnace running. A skilling boss encounter's focus is the same as a combat boss. You need to defeat the enemy, and this can be solved in various methods like draining the boss's health or protecting another character from enemies. Either way, the main focus is to handle the boss while the activities are secondary. For example, when you look at the Corrosis encounter, the goal is to put Corrosis back to sleep. You achieve this by using your skills to repair the statues around the arena and harnessing their power to clear a path, allowing you to damage the core. If the objective were merely to repair the statues while avoiding the boss's attacks, it would lack the urgency and feel more like a mini game rather than a boss encounter. So hopefully that puts you right in the mindset to understand what it means to be a skilling boss as opposed to like some skilling content or a mini game. For this upcoming skilling boss, players are going to be challenged to think on their feet and use multiple different skills. The only given in this blog post are divination in some form or fashion, and you're also going to be finding interesting ways to use your crafting skill to solve certain problems that will arise throughout the encounter. You also have to use your wits and the environment to stay safe, as situations will be becoming hostile as the fight progresses. Aside from that, we know that the fight will be broken into two thematic distinct phases, a time-limited preparation phase and an end phase. In the preparation phase, this is where you're going to be gathering resources for the environment, using them to strengthen your protective measures, and uses the combination of gathering and artisan skills for a limited time to best prepare for the second phase. So you want to use your time wisely in this first half. The second phase is the end game. This is where all hell breaks loose. Players will be under attack and have to work fast and keep their defenses up using the resources they gathered in the first phase. During this phase, the boss will be active and vulnerable, and you'll need to juggle offense and defense to put an end to the corruption. This phase will last until either the boss has been defeated or the player failed. Now in the Corrosis fight, he didn't actually damage you throughout the encounter. Instead, he lowered your stats, and that was a way of Corrosis defeating the player if he lowered enough stats amongst the team. This new skilling boss, however, is more streamlined and very similar to a combat boss in that it's going to directly be attacking your health pool with scaling income damage based on your HP level. But do know that this is a safe encounter regardless of using life points, so you don't have to worry about dying. This helps make the encounter more approachable, is more akin to a regular boss, but also opens up more potential strategies for players to keep themselves alive through the fight, such as different foods or brews. So as you may know from the recent Sanctum of Rebirth, we've been interacting with this inverted pyramid floating over the waters of the underworld for a while. As more of the Sanctum's role in the universe and design get fleshed out, the design for this boss became more solidified. Thematically, they were drawn to elements in the area, water, the moon, the stars, etc. And even on one early stage, the idea was a big moonstone pillar at the top of the sanctum that acted as conduit. Artists took the idea, ran with it, it, came up with some interesting concepts and mood imagery like the ones you're seeing on screen. This further spurred discussion, gradually refined more and more how they wanted things to look and feel. Currently, we're not getting the full picture of what the boss will look like, but it does have elements from these early designs they've seen. So in the coming weeks, we'll get a closer look at what the boss actually is and how it's going to be interacting with these environments. Next, I'll briefly touch on rewards. Considering this is a boss, there will be the usual suspects, such as experience in the skills that you're using, a boss pet, a collection log, titles, and a variety of tools and upgrades to fill out your slots. They do have some interesting ideas, but they want to ask players, what kind of rewards do you expect to see from a skilling boss? Do skilling rewards have to match the skill you're using in battle, or can they be from any skill that thematically fits? Can combat gear drop? What should or shouldn't be in the common drop table for this boss? These are all things that they'd like the players to give feedback on, not just for this boss, but in general for skilling bosses. Should they be a case by case, or should there be a through line for them? That said, they are asking the community for the feedback, and will be paying attention to conversations across the community as always. But for a more direct line, they encourage players to check out the official Discord. Anyways, that's pretty much it for what we know right now about this upcoming skilling boss. We'll probably know more on the 15th when they get the reveal of the roadmap for 2025. So stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed the video so far, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you'd like to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Thank you. If you missed the previous video, it will be on screen now. Check it out. Looking forward to seeing you there. And if not, I'll see you with the next RuneScape news video. Till then, I am out. Aloha.